Hmm. Yeah, let me see. I love this. Thanks. Appreciate your. Yeah, I addressed this before. Min-8 meat 250 years ago. I addressed that in another video here. For folk who want to know a hardcore healing program to become completely healed with it, I'm on green juice 3 times a day, fruits, 8 to 10 liters of water. And don't overdo the water, bros. I can tell you, not really a thing that's going to do you any good. I'll tell you over and over again. Don't go out and try to do way too much water. Not smart, not good. Some of you guys that are very acidic, you're going to bloat up like a Christmas tree, and you don't want to do that either. It'd be uncomfortable, and that won't serve any purposes either. So everything in moderation. Like the Tibetan rites, there's those exercises that for longevity. I'm very aware of them. So there's a lot of neat things out there, of course. Homegrown green leaves, absolutely. Let's see here. So if starch is polysaccharide, what do you call cellulose? Polysaccharide. As far as I'm informed, cellulose is also a polysaccharide. You're informed correct. It takes longer to digest, absolutely. And what happens when the fruit sugar is metabolized by the liver, turning glucose? I'll still tell you that all fructose is not metabolized into glucose. I don't see that. I see the body directly using that. And I gave that comment before on particular type 1 diabetics that we give that can't tolerate glucose. When they do glucose, their blood sugars soar, but when you give them fructose, their blood sugars go to normal. So you can definitely tell when you study fructose can absorb through a cell wall by diffusion. It's already a monosaccharide. No need to really convert it to an inferior monosaccharide. I don't see that. So I think some of this is bullcrap myself. I think a lot of what physiology has in it isn't always true. You have to wake up to that reality that all you've learned in physiology isn't always true. We in biochemistry always disagree. I'm sorry, it's just that way. There's as many opinions in biochemistry as there are biochemists, in my opinion. That's why I don't go that route anymore. It isn't worth the argument. I mean, people are arguing over which is better, which isn't. Look at David Wolf and Brian and Gabriel Cousins and Victor and all these people. Oh, Sproutitarian life is better, vegetarian life, fruitarian life. It's all good. It's all wherever your consciousness is. I just happen to think fruitarian is the highest consciousness available. Do I think man could achieve it and should live there? Not in this lifetime, but we could work toward it. But how interesting is it that I can put you at that level where even a sproutitarian lifestyle, even a vegetarian lifestyle, you still have cancers, you still have problems. I get you up into the fruitarian lifestyle and you're at the top of the rung. Even Yale or one of these universities years ago did 44th athletic modules, and they took a fruitarian and a raw foodist and I think a natural hygienist and bodybuilders, and they had a whole gamut of dietary regimes, and the fruitarian almost always outdid others by 200–300%. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which you like. It is not worth the argument. But it's enough to say that if you did comparative analysis of species of vertebrates, you have only one conclusion to bring, and that is we're primate-ish in the way we're built. And most primates are more frugivores than any other. True, you can't judge mountain gorillas when you're pushing them up into the mountains deeper, higher and higher. We're doing that. You can't judge their diet by that. And those primates that are stuck on islands where they can only fish for seafood, you can't judge that. Again, location, location, location. Monosaccharides other than glucose turn into glucose when metabolized by the... Okay, we went through that. Besides moving my lymph, are there any herbs I can take to increase my flexibility? Moving lymph is increasing flexibility. That inflexibility is acidosis, and you can you can get waterlogged. You can get bloated, But the true tightening and pain and stiffness is acidosis. And so by moving your lymph, that's how you do get flexible. I'd say if you're having bone cracking and things like this, pick up on the parathyroid gland. That'd be very, very important there. What are the different signs and symptoms of different colored mucus insofar as black, yellow, orange, red, and green? Well, clear mucus is probably the newest mucus in the body. As you move into the yellow that's subacute, that's been in the body a little longer. More parasitic action's been involved in trying to break it down for you. As you get into the green, of course, that's much deeper mucus. You can see those stages as you go through deeper healing crisis. The green is a good question, by the way. That green, nasty, stinky mucus, that's getting necrotic. There's a lot of bacterial action in there trying to break this down for you, break down these acids, break down the mucus. And then as you get into the darker, more chronic, black, you're moving in the green into the chronics and then into the browns, and then the black is degenerative. Some people have a lot of thick black mucus in the body. Of course, smoking you'll do a lot of black mucus, but you can have that. You can get black liver stones out of the liver and red liver stones, very toxic stones. Common to get some black stones out of the liver. Someone mentioned about red stones. I never heard of them, and finally someone had gotten a red stone out. But I have seen plenty of black stones. I've had people ooze black matter out of the bowels at the same time throwing it up out of the mouth. I think I told you about a stomach cancer case that did that. I've seen that in children. But I saw a 2-year-old oozing black matter out of the bowels. At 2 years old, they had this decayed matter in them. So it's amazing. So the more gnarly of the mucus you see coming out, obviously the deeper it is. Now I've got this one lady, her eyes are actually red, especially up in the brain area, and she is pouring out red mucus. So that has to be chemicals or dyes or something that didn't have the ability to break down. Of course, the orange mucus is definitely the sulfurs, and you'll tell it. But yeah. So good question there, HARLEMW651. Composer, let's see. Are you talking to a double wall star? Yeah. No, he said it was a cancer just, let's see. I don't think he said it was cancer just in your kidneys may need attention. You could get blood from a bladder infection too, but the more acidic the urine, the more likely to happen. Yeah, you know, infection is acidosis. Infection is lymph. You know, when we say infection, there's only two major fluids that deal in the human body. So you don't have to really get up and outside of those kind of thinking like there's another mysterious fluid in there or infection is something outside of what's going on in the body, because it isn't. This deals with high acids. That's why you get a burning when you get infection. It's highly acidic. And so this is all just acidosis and sewage, you know, not going anywhere fast. Toxemia, I mean, that's what this is all about, is toxemia. Some of these words, you know, you don't use them all the time, like toxemia. Excuse me, but it's just what we're dealing with is toxemia there. And that toxemia is acidic, of course. Yeah, we talked about Herring's Law of Cure yesterday. And like I said, in detox, let me tell you, there is no, the best way I can show you what you're going to experience in detox is your eyes. Because where I see a weakness, then I'm going to see a problem. You're going to have a healing crisis there, whether it's a sore throat or whether it's, you know, your throat can get real sore on these detoxes to the point where you lose your voice and can't speak anymore. And then it'll come back. And sometimes your eyes get really, really mucousy. Your hearing can go down and then suddenly go way up. In the end, when you're done cleaning, everything is way up. The sense of smell, way up. And when my smell came back, I realized I'd been smelling for years by memory. Let me see here. My question is it okay to drink grape juice from frozen concentrate if it's 100% grapes? You know, frozen is probably second best, especially in the wintertime where you can still get organic frozen fruits. Yeah, you know, I mean, it is second best. Nothing like fresh, but the next step down would be frozen. Outside of that, there really isn't any steps down. Anything that's pasteurized is not worth it. So if you're talking about unpasteurized juice here, that's the other problem. If you can get frozen unpasteurized juice, so much better. I would say that if you got to do pasteurized juices, they need to be like Knutson's or some organic juice. They're really good juices. They're grape juice. I could tell they just juiced it not too long since I bought it. It was really strong, really good. It's in a glass jar. Don't buy anything in a plastic jar. We need to send a message. It all needs to be in glass and organic. I mean, it is cooked, so you're going to lose a lot of nutrition, but there was tests done on the magnetics of even cooked grape juice, pasteurized grape juice. And it still had a lot of magnetic energy to it. The one fruit, that's why through the years all these things that I forgot will start coming out maybe. But that test also showed me the power of the grape had above the other fruits. It still maintained a high electrical current even though it had been pasteurized. That was pretty good. So that's why I just love the grapes. If you had to pick one that you had to detoxify with and be healthy on, the grapes are a great pick because of their high nutritional output. And of course, as one of you said, the darker the better. Absolutely. You can tell that with playing with your pHs, the difference between dark and green grapes. I particularly picked the organic orange because I just had found this special grove, and these navels were small grapefruits, minimally, if not big grapefruits. Massive oranges, and the taste was nectar. The taste was like a medjool date. And you just, nirvanic taste. When you get a food like that, that's what your body wants. Then go after it, because your body's saying, that's what I want, and you go after that. That's why intuitiveness is key to breed and health. That ought to freak out allopathic thinking because there's no intuitiveness there. It's all intellectual jargon. But intuitiveness is key in terms of, oh, my body's craving this. Not intuitive if you have a lot of fungus and you're intuitively craving a chocolate chip cookie. That's not quite the intuitiveness I'm talking about. Thanks, Liz, for your questions there, honey. Chad, let's see here, my friend. My left eyelid has been droopy my entire life. So you have a real, here's connective tissue weakness again here. Again, move your lymph system, get your parathyroid kicked up, tone that connective tissue, tendons, muscles in the body. This stuff will pull itself right again. Right eyelid never droops. It seems to get worse when I'm tired. Well, here again, there's a neurological component to this, okay? So that could be a little importance to you here. When you're tired, the system that's drained, of course, is the nervous system, and then neurologically you're not holding this too, so that has an effect as well. So I'd go upper circ, brain and nerve, make sure my parathyroid is kicking up there, and matter of fact, hit those adrenal glands. Autonomic, real important, so get those adrenal glands up and your neurotransmitters up. Does suggest that the left kidney and adrenal is the one at issue here. Is there any herbal formulas? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get the upper circ, brain and nerve, pop up those adrenals, make sure your parathyroid is up to strengthen everything, and move that lymph, then you'll be good. And here's another good thing. I've been raw and taking your herbs, adrenal and thyroid for a couple of weeks now to fight anxiety, depression. So here we go. The two things I just talked about, parathyroid, that's depression. Remember that. Calcium utilization, a lack thereof. The lack of calcium utilization is depression. All these medical doctors that are psychiatrists and things, you've got to get with this. You can't just keep giving these antidepressants. It's ruining the humans. You got to understand more about physiology. Calcium, lack of calcium utilization is depression. Anxieties is the adrenal glands. That's emotional. That's neurological. That's your low adrenal function. You always see low blood pressure in these cases, guys.